Hello students, today we are going to start with the policies and measures taken by the government in 1950 in all the 5-year plans in common. There were 4 main measures and policies undertaken by the government. One for the agriculture sector, the second one for the industrial sector, third one for the development of basic infrastructures, and third, that is to check the foreign trade. First one is actually the agricultural development measures adopted by the government to improve the agriculture. The second one is to bring industrial development, and for that they adopted Industrial Policy Resolution Act. This was enacted in 1948 for the very first time, but the initiation of it was undertaken in 1944. The third one is provision of basic infrastructure. The basic infrastructure included all the basic amenities needed by the people for the overall development. Last is to check the foreign trade, that is import basically, and to make the country self-sufficient. So all these 4 measures were undertaken keeping in mind the common goals of 5-year plans. So today we are going to proceed with the first one, that is agricultural development, that focuses on the agricultural development. So the measures undertaken for the agricultural development, that is agricultural sector, included: first one is land reforms, second one is subsidies, and the third one is national agricultural strategy. So first one, land reforms, which is also known as agrarian reforms rather, and this is very important. Measures undertaken under the land reforms included abolition of intermediaries or middlemen, tenancy reforms, and the third one is your reorganization of agriculture. Abolition of intermediaries means, that is, removal of zamindari system or in between middlemen, whosoever was involved in buying the goods from the farmers and then selling it to the people, the retailers, and making it a bulk profit out of it. The farmers were exploited on that ground. So to avoid that and to protect the interest of farmers, intermediaries were abolished. The second one was tenancy reforms. The land structure adopted during the British rule included zamindari system and no fixation of rent, no fixation of tenure, that is period of cultivation, and there was no rights of ownership to the tenants. So that was changed and removed, and the tenancy reforms were initiated, which included regulation of rent, rent was fixed. Then security of tenure was fixed, that is the period of cultivation. That means nobody can take away the land before the harvest is ready and is reaped by the farmers. And the last is, that is, confirming the ownership of land to the tenants. That is, the one who actually cultivates the land will be the owner of the land. The third and the main, that is reorganization of agriculture. That is, reorganization of agriculture included 3 things. That is, one is land ceiling, the second one is redistribution of land, and the third one is consolidation of land holdings, and finally the cooperative farming. Land ceiling means fixation of land ownership by a single person. That means a person can have a control on the land only up to a certain limit. Beyond that, any amount of land access to that limit was taken away by the government. It is different in different states as per the fertility of the soil, as per the land availability, as per the terrain, that means the type of land structure there. So the limit was fixed. Then is this land taken by the government, excessive land, whatever was owned by the people, the owner of the land, after the land limit was fixed, whatever excess limit was there, that was taken by the government, and the government used to redistribute that land to the landless farmers. Next is consolidation of land holdings. That is also very important. Consolidation of land holdings means whatever fragmented land were there, that was brought together through the policy of Chakbandi. Actually, due to the debt problem, due to the social setup, the farmers used to keep the land as a security for the loan taken by them. And in the case of failure of repayment of the loan, the land was taken away by the sahukars or banyas with whom they have taken the loan. Another thing is the land was distributed among the uh, sons of the owner as per the law of inheritance, which fragmented the land into small holdings. This problem resulted in poor means of cultivation, or methods and techniques were adopted in the cultivation was impossible. So that to avoid that and to make it possible, the benefits of cultivation from the modern techniques possible, the consolidation of land holdings were undertaken, under which the small holdings were brought together at one place and given equal amount of land to the owner. Last is cooperative farming. Again, to avoid the problem of small holdings and to avoid the disadvantages of the small holdings, the small farmers, they used to come together and they used to uh, take a priority of doing the work, doing the cultivation jointly with the help of each other, and that was known as cooperative. That is, the cooperation of one another was taken into consideration, and the small holdings were brought together to cultivate the agriculture jointly and enjoying the fruits out of it. So these were the land reforms. So how many were there? In total, you can say there were three, which were further subdivided into two. So the most important one is abolition of intermediaries, tenancy reforms, and reorganization of agriculture. Now, this was the first one, land reform. The second one was agriculture subsidy. Agriculture subsidy was given in two ways. One on the agricultural inputs, and the other one was on the food supplies to PDS. That means subsidy means the benefits, or you can say the relaxation in the prices for buying the agricultural inputs. In the same way, relaxation in buying the various tools, various machines, fertilizers, seeds, etc. The subsidy was also given on food surplus. That means the government used to procure food, that is wheat, rice, etc., from the farmers at a fixed price. The price was fixed in such a way that it was above the market price, and that was taken to the PDS. So the subsidy was given in two forms. I hope you have understood what is this subsidy in the food surplus. That is, you must have heard about the price of maximum price, or you can say price support, which you have already studied in class 11. So that is the price support. That is, the price is fixed above the market price by the government, and the benefit is given to the farmer. And the third one is National Agricultural Strategy. That is your package of various measures undertaken by the government to bring overall development in the agriculture. Actually, agriculture was carried out through the land reforms and other measures taken by the government, but fruitful results were not coming up. The first three plans actually did not benefit much out of the changes, the reforms, the measures undertaken by the government. Thus,